Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transparenttradesolutions.com on a Tuesday, 14th of November. Big CPI number, obviously, unless you're living under a rock. You know what happened. Again, the trajectory is lower. That's all the market really cares about, even though inflation is still at 4%. Positioning, bearish positioning, rhythmic trading. In fact, most of the move happened pre-market. Let's get into the charts again. Give me a thumbs up if you're, put some commentary, and if you are following me on, you can follow me on Twitter. Sign up for the newsletter. Been, talking about VIX and all that good stuff. Options been still. Haven't had any major pullbacks to speak of to quality levels based on, supply and demand type of strategy. So it's been a bit of a challenge. We've had a lot of breakout kind of situations where we're trying to incorporate some of that into our strategies because, again, we're just not getting a ton of follow through or not a ton of pullback since we bottomed at the end of October. And remember, I wrote about that in the newsletter that weekend about the bear killer. So all of this is kind of playing out the script. Question becomes now, where do we go from here? The market's getting pretty stretched, sentiment turning from extremely pessimistic going into the end of October to extremely optimistic. You can see that by the VIX. I think the VIX is probably going to go down to 12 before the market actually gets a pullback. We'll see. So let's get into the charts and go from there. We do have some opportunities coming up here in regards to the markets here. We're coming up into some levels in the S&P. Not a lot of quality. I've been mentioning this. There just hasn't been a ton of quality in some of these markets. Particularly, this is not a supply zone. People call this a supply zone. That is not a supply zone. It's been tested multiple times, blows right through there. In fact, everybody was talking about the Russell. That is not, these are not high quality supply zones, even up here. The next quality supply zone in the Russell is all the way out to 1920. That doesn't mean we shoot straight up there, but I mean, if you go over to the left here, these are a lot of tested levels. That's a test of that. That's a test of that. Even this is not great. We may pause here. I don't know. But this is also very low on the overall location. In location wise, this is very low. So I would not be aggressively shorting on the Russell right now. So you got to be careful when somebody says this is supply, whatever. Those are not quality supply levels, and you can see that it just blows right through a lot of these. Locations also very important. So that's kind of where we're at. Your market is getting stretched. Maybe we get another run up. We got PPI tomorrow. Still got a bunch of retail sales. We got Home Depot, obviously, with every market. Stocks all went up today. There was a sea of green today. That's very typical, again, with what happens with stocks, especially on a day like today. Most stocks did go up. Even the ones that were lagging picked up, some of these solar stocks and so forth. What was interesting, couple things notable today, everybody's talking about yields coming down. Yields, the 10-year finally attempting to break out. Here's the thing. This is the high from last week. We are sitting right where we were, poked a little bit above that. That high in the 10-year was at 25. We closed at 26. So, again, putting things into perspective. Now, again, could this launch and keep going? Of course. But all in all we really did today with, the falling interest rates, they just came right back down to where they were last week. Again, if you're watching media, you're thinking, rates have fallen off the cliff and so on and so forth. 10-year, look at 10-year prices, one tick above this high right there. The yields are actually also right where they were a week ago. So you know, again, everybody's making a big deal out of this, and obviously, if you're short this market, you're getting your your lunch handed to you, whatever, your head handed to you. But you know, let's put everything in perspective. In fact, down in here comes a really good demand zone on the yields as well. So putting that in perspective, the big mover today actually was the dollar. So we've been talking about the dollar possibly breaking down. It's been range trading, and we needed a catalyst. I've been writing about this. So today could be, and again, this now could set up for a really big drop in the dollar all the way down to here, because there's just not a ton of quality to buy the dollar, similar to what we talk about with stocks, flip version of the stock market. Not a lot of quality to go buying the dollar. Therefore, you would suspect that the dollar is on its path, probably down to 100. Okay, wouldn't surprise me in the least, which now in turn sets up some great opportunities to go along some currencies finally, right? So you got a breakout in the euro, you got a breakout in the British pound, Mexican peso looks like it wants to fill that gap. Yen picking up a little bit here. So all the currencies obviously had a big day today, but still has, you know, again, now the question becomes, are we going to get those pullbacks? That's the thing. It's not been happening. If the dollar doesn't pull back, then this thing just keeps running. So, you know, this is where breakouts, especially with now it looks like the Aussie wants to break out. Aussie just came right down to the lower part of the range here, incidentally, and now it looks like it wants to break out. So some opportunities coming up in the currency markets here. Similarly, you know, the metals, as the dollar has fallen, we got silver coming down to this big old ugly level here, right back up. It's just very rangy as well. Obviously, if the dollar keeps falling, all of these metals are going to keep going higher. Oil, very choppy today. Didn't, you know, really took a backseat to everything going on with stock market. So nothing really going on today in oil. It's just very, very choppy. Looks like it's heading back up to 80, but just no follow through. Also similar in nat gas, just didn't do anything today as well. It's kind of chopping around in here. In fact, it looks like it's headed right back down to 3. So not a lot to do there. Overall, you know, the stock market, just to kind of recap here, if you were not long coming into the CPI, and the reality, again, just to put things in perspective, if you were not long from here or bought that breakout or been long from, you know, a couple of days ago, this is what you got to work with today after the market opened, right? So right at 6:30, basically we've been just quietly trading here sideways about 20 points. So that's all you had to work with intraday for all you day traders. Not a lot to do unless you were, you know, got that breakout down in here. That was really all you got here. So again, whether the PPI is fully discounted here, I don't know. We'll see as well. We still have opportunities that we're looking at TTS. Walmart, we've got Cisco, we've got Palo Alto, some stocks. Clearly, you know, the mega cap still leading the way. The NASDAQ, you know, looking at the QQQs and Apple. So a couple things here. You got QQQs right on the highs here, right against this gap. Right there, there's a gap right there in the QQQs. Maybe that causes a pullback down to this gap. Also, some you know, Microsoft making a new high, Apple sitting at a resistance level at a level as well. You know, Apple, see if there's a gap to fill above also 191 on Apple. So it's interesting to see if Apple actually, you know, rallies and makes a new high up here as well. So just an interesting dynamic. Key is the 10-year, is this another false breakout in the 10-year? That's going to be the key. If rates really start dropping, then I think, you got you got another leg up on the stock market. But all in all, I mean, and even here, that level looks pretty darn good on the yield as well. So maybe we come back down to 430 on the yield, and then maybe go sideways for the rest of the year. That would not be out of the realm of possibility. So, okay. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Have a great rest of your week. Again, I think most of this is already in terms of economic data. Tomorrow's PPI, and then we got a bunch of retails, and then going into the holiday, things probably get quiet. Who knows? Anything is possible right now, but I would not be chasing this market right now. Wouldn't get all bulled up right now. This is the same scenario we had back in late July when everybody got really super bullish. That could be that in the cards as well. So, okay. All right. So again, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the newsletter. Obviously, with holidays coming up, I'm gonna have to put off the class until after Thanksgiving, but I am gonna possibly run a special. We've had a really good month so far, so I'll maybe run a special. Some of you guys can take advantage of that. Okay. All right. Have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you on Friday. Take care.